Hello, skippers. I'm here with Bill Mertens from Canada. He's one of the most engaged skippers. He's the leader of the ranking, the global ranking today, and we wanted to share with the community which is the experience of selling in Realsail, and what are the good things that we can found, what are the community is experiencing in the chats and so on. So I would like to ask Bill different questions, and just to let him explain you what is the idea of what is the experience of selling in the Realsail. Okay, so Bill, welcome to the session. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, and I would like to start maybe on what is your background in sailing, and how did you get into Realsail?
Okay, well, I've been in a sailing family, so I started in diapers on a 1904 Herreshoff, and basically have sailed my entire life, mostly around the Great Lakes between the U.S. and Canada. I was most competitive, three-time provincial champion in windsurfing, but I've also cruised and club raced, both in Canada and down in Florida, where I semi-live now. I've sailed everything from a windsurfer to a 100-foot maxi. So I'm currently boatless, and was just, but I still follow all the sailing stuff and crew for whoever I can, whenever I can. If anybody's looking for a grinder pitman who also has some navigation skills, I'm available. Anyways, I a couple of years ago, I saw a notice in one of the sailing newsletters that I follow about a virtual race that was a record race between New York and transatlantic westbound, traditional route, Ambrose Light to the Lizard. And I had just recently seen a presentation by Stan Honey on setting the weather strategy for Comanche's 2015 record run. And so I'm going to try this virtual thing because I'm loaded with this information. This could be cool. So I did well right out of the gate, and I've just worked to improve my skills, improve my knowledge since then. I was, of course, at the time on this other big platform that everybody knows, but there were problems over there. I mean, they're not responsive to the community. There's no communication back and forth, with the developers. They make changes that nobody likes. There are bugs that go years without getting addressed. And a friend said, "Hey, there's this new platform starting up, Realsail. It's in beta. Might be fun. Do you want to give it a try?" So I did, and immediately I loved it. I found it. I just enjoyed the experience of sailing a lot more on Realsail. And one of the things, like the charts are real time, are kind of real charts that you're not going through this cartoon map. You're sailing in a real chart, and the integration with real life routing software. So I've got my routing software up, I've got the game up, I'm watching my boat move in real time in my routing software. I'm doing things exactly the same as if I was, down at a nav station on a real boat using the same tools. And, it has that experience. It has the experience of really navigating a boat, minus, the violent motion of the boat and questionable hygiene. It's the total experience. And so I'm hooked. I'm totally hooked on Realsail now.
That's great. Yeah. So this is the idea of Realsail. I mean, we try to promote, you know, the experience of being like a real sailor, you know, and trying to have all the tools to steer the boat, have an EMEA feed for the routing tools, you know, having the real meteo and accurate shorelines and so on. So you can feel like a real experience, but sailing from land, you know, not getting wet, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. And you know, the other thing is the community. There's two other things that I think distinguish Realsail. One is, you know, rather than teams, there are teams, but it's organized around communities. And there is, through the Discord servers, there's continuous chatter going on. You know, if you're one of those people who likes to chat and you know, gamesmanship, there's plenty of chatter going on. There's also a lot of help. I mean, if somebody's having trouble, you know, they can ask questions. Other skippers, you know, jump in to try to help solve their technical problems. And of course, you know, the other great thing is Realsail's developers are responsive to the community. So they're in the chat following in real time. And if somebody's having a technical problem, it gets addressed immediately. I'm always impressed when, you know, Pablo jumps in at, you know, what must be 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday at your time, because somebody's having a problem. And, you know, like any developing process, you know, there are glitches, but, you know, the difference here is they do get addressed. They get addressed very promptly. And when a consensus forms within the community on the direction that people would like to see the game develop, they get implemented. And they don't get implemented like next year or in a month. They get implemented like, hey, here's a new feature people wanted, and you know, 2 days later we've got it.
Yeah, one is this is our main goal, you know. We built the game from the community. So for example, in the beta, during the beta testing, we got lots of features and requests and ideas, and we try to listen to the community and make the community want the game they want, you know. So we try to, yeah, we are always listening to the community, and we are really happy to welcome new ideas and requests. And as you mentioned, yeah, we try to move fast, try to develop it and to develop them as soon as possible, and be also responsive with the community to, yeah, to make the game we want, you know. So that's the idea. That's great. And you know that we have partnered with Golden Globe race. We have announced it last week, okay? And we have with this partnership, we talked with Don McIntyre on how can we follow the spirit of the real race, no, or the Golden Globe race, no? And he mentioned us that it would be great if we could simulate somewhere in some way. How can we simulate a sextant or a celestial navigation? So we work hard on this, and we found the Stellarium software, which is an amazing software that is used for showing the map of the stars in a current position. So now we are using this map of the stars for the celestial navigation. So we have built some races. We have built some no GPS races with you when you don't know how to you don't know which is your current position, and it's great, you know, because it's the same spirit as the GVR race, no? And we know that you have participated in some of these races, and we just wanted to know which is your experience and how do you feel of sailing, you know, like in all these using the celestial navigation. Which is your experience, Bill?
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew about the original Golden Globe race in 1968. I remember doing a school geography project on the route of the race was my project. So here we are 50 years later, you know, now partnered with the real race or its modern derivation. And it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm of an age that I remember the race, but you know, by the time it was my turn to navigate on the family boat, you know, by the late 70s, early 80s, maybe it was, we had Loran. We used radio direction finding. You know, I've never had to pull out a sextant, so kind of rolling the technology back to a period just slightly before my time, having to learn some new skills, where, like virtual racing in its traditional sense is all about, where you are, where you want to go. How do we solve this problem of how do we get from where we are to where we want to go faster than anybody else?
Yeah.
And, here there's an additional complication of, first you got to figure out where you are, and you've got to figure out the way where you are, the way they did, prior to all these electronic navigation aids. So, the game presents, you click a button and you're looking at the daytime or nighttime sky from the position of where your boat is. And by, taking sightings off the sun and the stars, you got to figure out where you are. And that's a new skill for me. I'm really motivated to learn new skills and take on new challenges. So this has actually been a lot of fun. I found doing noon sun sightings, that was pretty easy. And especially, because of the community nature, where I had questions, I was doing my calculations and I was like, look, I'm clearly not here. Just ask a question in the Discord chat, and some of the guys, and there are guys in the game who, they're former Navy officers from an era where that was your primary way of navigating. They know their stuff, and they were more than helpful. Just like, oh, hey, here's where you're making your mistake, and it's like, got it, and it's like, bang, and it's amazing. Just by sighting off celestial bodies, you can place yourself literally within 100 meters of where you are. It's fantastic, and it's when you've done that, it's an amazing sense of accomplishment.
That's right.
Yeah. So here I am, having, first kind of tried celestial navigation, 3 weeks ago. And I'm leading the current race.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, the community is really active. We built a tutorial of how can we use the celestial navigation in the races and in sailing. We talked with many skippers. For example, we talked with a skipper which was a captain for a French marine, and he was sailing his ship, his merchant ship, all around the world in the 60s. And he really knew where all the stars were hosted, and it was great because talking with him, because he really knew how to sail with celestial navigation, and we built this tutorial with all those skippers, and we have it available for the community. And as you mentioned, the community is really active. So if you find any doubts, or the community is really open to share their experiences, and yes, and I think this is never happened again, never happened before, sorry, because sailing with celestial navigation in a sailing game is something new, and I think it's a new variable for sailing games, and we try to do it because of this DGR, and we will follow making this kind of building this kind of races, because I think it's great to learn more, to let the skippers learn more about the sailing, and let them how to do this kind of new sailing, So yeah, okay, Bill, I don't want to take you more time. Thank you very much for joining us in this session. I think you are a master, on this strategy, and looking forward to see you in the races, and yeah, and I hope to see you in the DGR, and let's see how it works. Thank you very much.
All right. Right now I got to figure out how to pass Martinello.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you very much, Bill.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Pablo.